up in the Sun Bowl. Miami did not even show up in the Independence Bowl in the Louisiana Tech, and they're not making a coaching change. It seems like I think Miami's got more problems than FSU does at this point. Because at least FSU is going to have, Mike Norvell coming in next year.
Oh, but I agree on that because, like, when it comes to FSU, I know, like, I feel like they are definitely a program that they will turn around. In a few years, they're going to be good again. Miami, I cannot say that about them. Just looking at how, like, they cannot defend their talent. They cannot get the players out of inner city Miami. They're not wanting to go to Miami anymore. They're going out of state. It's so obvious that they're in decline. And it's really sad to watch because this was a program that was once one of the best teams in college football, and they can't do anything. Like, they've lost what made them, the University of Miami, what made them a powerhouse.
Well, that's true, and I don't know if they're ever going to get that back. And I think that's part of the problem that the fan base has down there in Coral Gables is that they think the 80s and 90s are going to come back, and it's not happening. It's not happening out there. They're not going to have that because players don't go to Miami. They don't even stay from South Florida. They don't even stay down there. It's just, that's the problem. They've been rated by Florida. They've been rated by Florida State. They've been rated by out-of-state programs. And, Florida State, I think, and it sounds to me like already with Norvell coming in that it's going to be a lot different than with Florida Tigers. And I know that Florida State probably will be back to that level. But you're right, Miami, I don't see a lot of hope there right now. And the thing is, they thought when they hired Mark Richt 3 years ago, they thought that was the answer. But he was gone in 3 years, and, Manny Diaz is the coach now. And, every time they get a new coach at Miami, they think things are going to change, and they kind of stay the same down there.
I was also, that was good you mentioned Penn State. I agreed with that. In fact, at the beginning of the season, I actually had them as a dark horse college football pick, which probably was jumping the gun, but I did feel that Penn State, they are going to be the future of the Big Ten. And you also, what was the other team again you mentioned?
I was going to say Iowa, over USC in the Holiday Bowl with Minnesota. Talking about Minnesota a little bit earlier.
Oh, yeah. Minnesota, they impressed me with their win as well, but also I will say with Mississippi State, they probably shouldn't have been in the bowl game anyway. So I was like, they essentially got into a bowl game because in the Ole Miss game, Ole Miss got called for taunting, which cost them, which Ole Miss basically handed that bowl appearance right over to Mississippi State. And Mississippi State, they were just not that good. It was clear that Mullen really did keep that program playing above a level that they probably were at talent-wise, that when he left to go to Florida, Mississippi State turned back into Mississippi State.
Yeah, well, I think that's an interesting point because when Mullen left to go to Florida, Mississippi State fans were very, defiant, average Dan. But the thing is, Mississippi State was the number one in the nation under Dan Mullen. They were clearly a better program. Dak Prescott was there. He really won a Heisman. I mean, Mississippi State got to their Heisman for Dan Mullen. And look, it wasn't going to be easy to replace that. I don't know what Mississippi State fans think they are. They're not FSU. They're not Georgia. They're not Alabama. They're not Florida. I mean, they're just not. And they're never going to be. In fact, for most of the time, Ole Miss is the better program in Mississippi. But, the problem they also did was Joe Moorhead was not a good fit. I mean, they brought in a guy from the Northeast. He was at Penn State. But, I also heard this point made yesterday about that. Well, we were complaining about bringing in a guy from the Northeast. Dan Mullen is from Massachusetts. But Dan Mullen fits in the SEC because he was here as a coach with Urban Meyer as an assistant. He became a head coach, and he's more of an SEC mentality. Joe Moorhead, it just didn't work. It was a bad culture, and now they've got to figure out what they're going to do next. Because you're right, they probably should have made a bowl game. They had enough wins to qualify, but it was a poor performance for them against Louisville and the Mississippi Bowl.
Well, also, we'll go ahead and move into the college football playoff championship, even though I guess technically I would call it the Power 5 championship, but for the actual sake of the main argument, it's Clemson versus LSU. Obviously, LSU, very good offense. There's Joe Burrow. They're obviously very talented quarterback. For his sake, I hope the Bengals do not screw everything up with him because he has the talent if they build around him. They got LSU got some very good receivers and skill position players. It's a loaded offense. I cannot deny that. But when I look at LSU, I do not see a championship defense. If I remember correctly, their defense in total was, I believe, ranked 28th or 27th in the nation. Clemson's defense ranked 3rd in the nation. That was probably heading into the bowl games. That probably didn't take into account the 2 bowl games. I'm guessing that was like the end of the regular season stats. But I just look at Clemson. This is a team that I know that a lot of people are saying they haven't been tested, which, yeah, they're right. They haven't been tested. They really weren't tested last year either, but that didn't stop them from completely shredding the best team that the SEC had to offer last year in the championship. And we're looking at the same story again. LSU is basically proved that they are the class of the SEC for this season. But the question is, are they better than Clemson? And when I look at it overall, I feel Clemson is a much more balanced team. I feel they're much better on defense, and I just don't feel LSU is that far superior on offense over Clemson to make up that difference.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. I think Clemson is better defensively. I think if Clemson might be the best defense in the nation, and still, despite the fact they lose, NFL talent, first-round talent every year. I mean, I'm looking at these numbers. If Clemson averages 45 points a game, LSU averages 49. Total yards, LSU 564 per game. Offensively, Clemson 538. And LSU passes from 400 yards a game. But here's the difference. Yards allowed, Clemson allows 245 a game, LSU 341. That's almost a 100-yard difference. But my issue here is nobody stopped Joe Burrow. 5,200 yards, 55 touchdowns this year. And I don't think Clemson's going to stop him either because with Edwards Hilaire and with the receivers LSU has, I mean, I agree with you that Clemson has a better defense, but I think LSU's offense is that much better. Trevor Lawrence is a great quarterback, no doubt. Travis Etienne, maybe he's one of the best running backs in the nation, but it's still, the way Joe Burrow is going, I don't see it happening. I mean, he just literally, you can argue Oklahoma shouldn't have been there, but he made 8 touchdowns in the first half against Oklahoma. And that was supposed to be the number 4 team in the nation. I just think this is going to come down to, it's going to be a little higher scoring. Clemson, you're right, they battle hard. They probably shouldn't, they were out of that Ohio State game, really, if not for that targeting call against Sean Wade, who, of course, played Trinity Christian in Jacksonville. I don't know if Clemson comes back. I really seem to change that more, but I just think that, I don't know. I like LSU just because I think Joe Burrow is going to win this game and win this national championship for them, and I don't know. Clemson's going to make it more interesting than Oklahoma, no doubt.
Well, you mentioned that no one stopped Joe Burrow, but also the thing I look at is, does Clemson really need to, at least overall? Because I don't know if LSU is going to be able to stop Trevor Lawrence. I feel like at the end of the day, Trevor Lawrence is going to have no problem putting up points and yards on this LSU defense. It'll probably end up being one of those shootout games that come down the wire. But I also remember this saying, defense wins championships.
Yeah, I don't know if LSU defense is as bad as we're making it out to be. I mean, I know they gave up a lot of points earlier in the season, but I'm looking at their last 3 games against Texas A&M. They lost 7. They only gave up 10 to Georgia and 28 to Oklahoma, but that was a lot of just they kind of got the shootout there. Yeah, they gave up 41 to Alabama, but that was going to be a shootout. They gave up 37 to Ole Miss, which I can't explain that. But Vanderbilt scored 38, Texas scored 38 early in the year, but really LSU's defense as the season's gone on has played better. So I don't know if it's that big of a difference. I know some defense is what it is. And again, I don't know if Clemson, like you said, I don't think Clemson had not been tested at all until Ohio State. And now they've been tested. So that's loss. He finds a way to win, so that's going to be an edge Clemson's going to have as well. They've been here. They know how to get this done. Here's the other thing, too. The game's going to be in New Orleans. It's an LSU home game. I mean, it's going to be basically like playing in Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge. And that's going to be, I think, an interesting test for Clemson, too, because it's going to be loud and noisy in the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. And that's going to affect this game as well. But I think Clemson and Trevor Lawrence probably one quarterback who won't get affected by something like that.
That's a good point, bringing up the stadium. But I also, you got to remember, Clemson, they have much more big game experience than LSU does. That's going to be another thing that's going to come into factor. As this is going to be the first time LSU's played in this kind of atmosphere in 8 years. Well, 9 years actually. But while Clemson, these juniors and seniors, they have been in this situation every year they've been in college. And Dabo Swinney has been in this situation for pretty much the last 5 years. And Dabo Swinney, I guess you can say it's probably up between him and Nick Saban for the best coaches in college football. I feel like in addition to that, the big game experience and the coaching edge both go to Clemson.
Yeah, I would agree. Now, and the other thing is, too, think of this, and this is a lot different LSU team than it was. You mentioned last time LSU played for the national championship. They actually played in the Superdome against Alabama, and they got shut out. And that was Les Miles, 2011, 2012, or January 2012. But, LSU got just pretty much dominated by Alabama at the Sugar Bowl that year in the national championship game in New Orleans. So, that didn't help LSU that year. This is obviously a different LSU team. They're not going to get shut out. But, yeah, I mean, I agree. Clemson definitely has played. They're in the big game every year. They're back. That's an advantage. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think. We may be looking at sort of like the Alabama-Clemson game about 4 years ago when Alabama won, 40, I think it was 45-42 or something. I think we may be looking at another one of those games. I haven't seen a quarterback play like Joe Burrow play this year. That's why if I had to pick one, I would pick LSU right now.
I'm glad you bring up that Alabama-Clemson game because I think I'll go back to that big game experience again with this point. In that game, that was Clemson's first shot at a title, while Alabama had basically spent the past, I guess, 7 and 8 years basically competing for a national title every year. So it was pretty much the reversal of what we're going to be seeing on Monday. Now Clemson's the team that's got all that experience versus LSU, who I don't think there's anyone on that current team with any championship experience. At least I know obviously the players, but I don't believe any of the coaches on the staff were a part of that previous championship run.
No, they weren't. In fact, you're right. Ed Orgeron was at USC when that previous run for LSU was going on with Les Miles, and when they won the national championship back in 2007, he was the head coach at Ole Miss. Now, he's been at LSU in a couple of different occasions, but yeah, you're right. Ed Orgeron has never had to coach in a game like this either. So, yeah, I think Dabo Swinney has an edge there as well. It's funny because you kind of seen, you mentioned it too, Alabama was playing for the national championship, I think, almost every year but one between 2009 and basically 2015 to 14. And then Clemson has kind of been the team to take over that mantle from Alabama. They've been in the national championship game for the last 5 years. So, yeah, it is an interesting kind of the passing of the torch, maybe a little bit from Nick Saban, Alabama, to Dabo Swinney and Clemson. And right now, the only team standing in the way of Clemson winning its third title in 4 years is LSU. Because 3 and 4 years would be, that's a feat in college football that has only happened, I think, a couple times. Nebraska did it in the 90s. And I know there's one other team that escapes me, but I have to look that up. But it doesn't happen very often in college football.
For sure. And I guess I never officially made my pick, but I do think Clemson wins a potential shootout type of game. I like the fact that you brought up that